out. Okay, cool. Oh my God.
How many tracks would you put together, like on one song, would you say? Like average, maximum,
I don't know,
20,
anywhere
30?
between 20 and 40, let's say, typically.
Okay, cool.
You know who Billy Corgan is?
Of course I know who Billy Corgan is.
I heard that fool used to put like hella tracks, like he used to just like make hella, like he was wild with it, I heard.
Is that Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah, that's Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
He does lots of layering. So does the dude from My Bloody Valentine does tons of layering.
Oh, no one knows my flight. No, SFO 1150. Shit. One of them's United and one of them's American. I think it's United going there and American coming home. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Prefer that's the best. Okay, cool. So let me get 10 seconds of silence, and then we'll start the intro, and then I think I'll do an intro this time, and then we'll come back. Actually, no, I won't do an intro. We'll just get right into it. Okay, 10 seconds of silence in 3, 2, and 1. What is going on? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another issue of the Comic Bookies podcast. This is episode 164, coming to you live on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for watching and listening. This week, it's October, so you know what that means. We have plenty of sports coming back, sports in the playoffs. NFL and college football are in full swing, so you know what that means. We have to have the owner of our great sponsor, Treasure Island Comics. Alex is in the house this week. Alex, sir, it's October, Halloween season, so we have plenty of, nightmares to discuss. The Raiders, the Dodgers, if you're a NASCAR fan, the whole Bubba Wallace situation. But other than that, before we get into all of that, how are you, sir? Thank you so much for coming on again with us. I mean, besides the fact that we're all dads, and then sometimes we're just tired, you are busier than hell. I think every single weekend, you're just like, when I email you my list, you're just, busy week. So I feel for you, man.
Now, we were talking about earlier, and everybody who's come by the shop recently, seen I've been buying tons of books the last couple of months. It's just bonkers, man. So right. busy.
I gotta ask you, Alex, too, because I don't think I've ever actually asked you this. So I know you're open Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And all the other days, I know you're doing a whole bunch of work-related things, whether you're shipping books, obviously new shipments. What would you say is like the most tedious, or like what freaking takes the longest to do? Like, oh shit, I gotta do this for the week.
Longest thing is probably just the paperwork, getting all the orders correct, because those are tightened up weekly, and then CGC is very tedious for me. I got to get all that shit scanned and listed on eBay. I just got like 120 books back. Took about 18 months to get those books back, so I did get a bunch of books scanned the last few days, and I listed probably 25 books between last night and today.
18 months.
Yeah,
shit.
They're slammed.
I mean,
dude.
I'm not surprised. When I took,
that's actually early. They told me 24 months, so I got them back 6 months earlier than I expected.
I think it took me, this was years ago. Obviously, this was, Comic-Con of 2017 or 18. I took a bunch of books, and I gave them 10 or 11, and all 10 or 11 came back in a nice box in less than 6 months. I forgot what the correct value was, but wow, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, with the pandemic, everybody was sending in like crazy, because everybody had their side hustle, and
of course,
all that stuff was going on.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Although that market just crashed pretty hard. The speculator market crashed pretty hard this fall.
Wow,
which is good.
Let's not forget Hurricane Ian. I think Sarasota's somewhere in those pathways down there in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they were closed for like a week, but they had no damage. That's in that CDC building is a vault, man. I think it's got like 6 feet thick concrete walls and stuff. So it's pretty trippy.
Freaking Fort Knox of
Right.
damn, of grading.
Well, you got to. I mean,
Yeah,
you know, you hear me joke it all the time at the shop. If you live in Florida, that state's eventually going to be underwater. So you got to have all that shit ready to go.
Right.
You know?
Holy shit. So, the comic shop is busy, but how is life other than that?
Life is good. Halloween's coming up. That's going to be my 27th wedding anniversary this Halloween, which is also pretty wild. It's a long time.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. On
Spooky.
Halloween you got married?
It's very scary. Yes, I was married on Halloween. Hail Satan.
That's awesome.
My father's birthday.
That's right. Hail Satan.
Hell yeah. That's cool. That's awesome. It's on a Monday too, so actually for me it's a day off, so that's pretty cool. Get to walk around, go to my daughter's, little parade thing she has at school.
Yeah.
Go wherever trick-or-treating and don't have to worry about it because Tuesday's a day off, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So I mean, how are you guys? Mark, Sean, it's another week.
Good, bro. Just, man, all this packing, getting ready for tomorrow. I'm really
Hit that
excited,
trip.
man.
Yeah.
I'm already checked out of freaking work, bro, but I do have to technically work tomorrow. But yeah, all this packing for Casey, and I just we're going for a day trip. I got to pack for 4 days. So between the formula, diapers, wipes, me and Marissa had a little bit of oh shit moment. Like, we had a lot of crap we had to get ready for this guy. All the, clothes in case of accidents and
Just
stuff.
in case.
Yep. It's literally the oh shit bag. Right.
Yeah, it's not even, and that's not to consider we have a freaking 5-hour flight basically with him. So it's like the first time he's flying that long. So we're like, oh yeah, we're taking a red eye. He's gonna sleep perfect. Dun dun dun. We get on the flight.
Hopefully.
Right.
Hopefully he sleeps.
Yeah.
So it's a weekday wedding?
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I wish that I would have found out earlier that my daughter doesn't have school on Monday because we're flying home on Saturday, the day after the wedding. Oh, man, I would have loved to stay on Sunday, drive up to Charlotte, Tampa Bay's playing in Charlotte, go to see the Panthers and Buccaneers. But, yeah, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But, no, it's exciting. One of our friends, Steve, is getting married. We've been good friends, a good group of friends for like over 12 years now. So it's good. We got a buddy coming from Oregon, a buddy coming from Vegas. So all the guys are getting together for the first time in a long time. We're going to act like some idiots for a couple of days. So, yeah. So
that's the plan for sure.
Embarrass our wives and children for a few days. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So. All right, so
besmirch your family name.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into some comic books. So before we get into anything you're reading, anything you're speculating, let's get into this week's book. So the week of 10/19, 2022, please make sure to go visit Treasure Island Comics every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday to get all your new and old books. Nightwing 97, Flash 787, Batman Superman World's Finest number 8, Batman the Knight number 10, and Flashpoint Beyond actually is over this week from DC Comics. Marvel, just to name a few, Marvel Knights 16, Thor 28, X-Men 16, Avengers 61, and X-Force 33. Image gives us Gunslinger Spawn, Deadly Class 56, The Silver Coin 15, and one of Mark's favorites, Public Domain number 5. AWA gives us book. Sacrament. I know. Sacrament number 3 comes out, and I like this one from Vault Comics. Mindset number 4 comes out this week. Alex, over the last couple months, what can you tell fans as far as new books? Like, what have you been reading that they can, try to go pick up at their local comic book store?
I like the independent stuff is still kind of better. I was going to say also Alien 2 and Predator 3 are in this week, and those have been pretty solid. And then you got Crypt of Shadows from Marvel, which would be a fun one-shot for Halloween.
That's right.
But we have the weird big book is Abolition of Man. That book looks awesome. I saw the preview a while ago. It's all AI art. It's a mess. It's weird, very surreal. But I'm into that. That's my weird hidden book of the week, I think, for most. But
okay.
Just all the good independent, James Tynion. That guy's still killing it, man. That guy, it's like that guy's the hardest working guy this year. It's a trip.
I read back to back last night because I usually keep myself about a week or two behind. I read back to back Department of Truth and Nice House on the Lake. It's like that guy doesn't miss. That Nice House on the Lake. That Nice House on the Lake issue was insane. Like Mark even told me last week. He goes, "Hey, just wait. You're gonna get. It's one of those issues where right at the very end, you're like." Oh, like and you can see it leading up to, she's not going to be able to heal. They're going to do something to where once they make that shot, she's going to be sort of human again. Unbelievable.
And they were
No, that
kind of
book's super cool.
they weren't on a hiatus, but I felt like it took a while for us to finally get that issue, but it didn't
running
disappoint.
Slow. Yeah. No,
How
once you
many
saw the
books-
control room, pretty cool.
How many
know,
books
that's
are you
wild.
reading, Alex? Because it seems like every time I hear like somebody in the shop bring up a book to you, or even I bring up a book to you, it's like, oh yeah, you know that one. It's like
I try
He
to
knows everything.
I try to read.
he
I
knows
try to read a lot.
everything.
I try to read a lot so we can talk to folks, right? I mean, there's some stuff I
Yeah.
won't read. I think this came up before. Like I won't read Transformers or GI Joe. That's
Yeah,
off limits for me, right? But no, I try to read all the bigger books, so to speak,
That's
just to
good, man.
keep up with people. I'm not reading the X-Men books right now. Those books suck for me, man.
blame you.
Those are rough.
Is Hickman still on it?
No. He's been doing his Substack, which is dope. But no, he's got a Doctor Strange book coming up, which of course will be awesome because that guy gets like 6 stars for me.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
but it's weird. I mean, Marvel and DC aren't they're kind of just doing very predictable stuff to me. I think the independent guys are just doing way more value for your reading, better, easier stories to get into.
right. I was going to give them each one more issue because I think both of them, I got the newest. I read number 10 last night of Amazing Spider-Man. I already have number 11 from last week. And I believe after this week's Batman Superman World's Finest, something about both of those books is just not keeping me involved. Like they're not horrible stories, but it's just like, like I wanted to try them and I gave it a good run. I gave it 8 issues. I'm giving it 11 issues, but after these next 2 issues, I might be dropping those and picking something up, other than that. Right.
Yeah. World's Finest is okay. It's fun. It's like the fun Batman book. And so for that, it's kind of needed because all the other Batman books are pretty dark.
Right.
And Spider-Man's a trip. I always read Spider-Man. I love the character. I haven't liked the book in years, to be blunt. And this new one, when it kicked off, it was the whole "what did Peter do?" And it's like, dude, we're almost 12 issues in, and they haven't explained jack shit.
Right.
So I'm about to get like, I was telling customers at the shop, it's like they get to issue 12 and they still haven't explained it. I got to fire off a tweet tomorrow. And be like, seriously, what's up with that, man?
Right. No,
That's right.
Completely
we don't
agree.
know
That
why.
was the hook. The hook
Yeah.
was, what did Peter do? And what did Peter do? Nothing. Peter forgot.
Right.
You know?
And then issue 10, he is judged. Right.
Right.
So
yeah.
so we're
My Ghost Gwen. That's pretty deep.
right. So we're getting there. Right. But you're right.
Yeah.
It's something needs to be explained quick.
Are you guys familiar with Zeb Wells? I personally am not. I'm sure Alex is. If you could, what has he been on, or what has he wrote that's he known for?
I think the bigger thing for Zeb Wells is he did the multiverse, Spider-Verse stuff, and that stuff's awesome.
Okay.
Right.
You know what? Where maybe he's the one doing Substack stuff also, but I bring him up to Michael sometimes because he reminds me of him as well with the bald head. But Brian Michael Bendis, where's his ass been at?
He was at DC, right? And they're still finishing Naomi up there, I think. But he split to Dark Horse. His contract with DC is up, and that was a weird one to me. I like Bendis a lot because his stuff, like, I mean, obviously I'll date myself, but like 20 years ago, that shit was popping. It was excellent. I loved all that stuff. And his Ultimate Spider-Man run is just gold. But he did not click it with his DC books that much. It was a little weird. Like he was doing, Superman in action, and they were good, but they weren't great. And then we have Philip Kennedy Johnson now doing the bigger Superman stuff, and he's a Scott Snyder pupil.
Disciple.
And that guy's, he's a great writer also.
He's on Alien too, and I like that.
Yes, that's right. Yep. That's right. He's really good.
Are you reading Human Target, Alex?
Yeah, that book's dope, dude.
That book is, I love that book. Did you read the latest issue with Fire and Ice?
Yeah.
Like tying in, but like to me, Tom King's just like, I just love his writing. I don't know what it is. Like, just, I don't know. I just really enjoy just kicking back, and that's like one book I really like to like dive deep into. Like really read. It's just, I just love it.
Oh no, the whole vibe on his like he did, Mr. Miracle. He did Vision at Marvel first, right? And then he did the Mr. Miracle book, and then he did
Strange Adventures.
I think
the Batman run.
He's really into like the romantic-ish type of writing. I've come to find that out about him. He's really good when he does the vibe with like a Bruce and a Selena, and a Christopher Chance and the Fire, Ice, and like the way and then the artist that he works with, like this Greg
Yeah.
Smallwood right now.
That guy's
dude,
great,
they're
man.
fire, dude. Those books are fire. I was telling these guys like these last two the last two episodes, I'm like, man, this Human Target is really targeting my damn my appetite for some
It's
more
super
Tom
fun.
King.
It's a total throwback book. It feels very Silver Age. It's fun. Although there's a good murder mystery at the heart of it. Tom King's really good. I mean, the only thing I didn't like was Heroes in Crisis. I think that book kind of suffered.
Yeah.
There was a lot of editorial on that one. And then on his Batman run, I think the only part that I don't care for was the Nightmare section because it just kind of took too long. But it's not like a deal breaker. It's more of a nitpick than anything, you know. But then Tynion got on and it was like went to 11 crazy on his run. So
yeah,
I know we talked about it, I think, last week. One book I really, really liked was the Batman. Was it One Bat Night, the Riddler one?
Oh, yeah. That was good, too.
How'd you like that?
I haven't read those because those are all square bound, and I don't want to read them in the shop because it breaks the cover.
Oh, right.
I want people to buy new books, so I always have to read those like when they're collected. It totally blows. Or if I have a damaged copy, I would read that, but I didn't have any damages on that book.
Yeah, we talked about it. That was for some that was one of those especially like the Two-Face one. That was one that I really felt. I mean, I'm one of the more the rookies, me and Mark with the comics, but that was I really had a good insight. Two-Face is a twisted dude, man.
The whole series, the One Bad Day series, has been released. The Penguin is in this week.
That's
and those
right.
have sold really well for $7 books. For $7 books, they're selling really well, which is always a little surprise to me because I'm always very conscious of people's budgets. You know,
right?
You're gonna have to save me a Penguin one for sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel the tide's turning? Or maybe, I mean, obviously you're in the business. I'm trying to get into freaking data analytics at this point. Maybe that could be a case study I could try to conduct or something. But do you feel the tide's turning, Alex, is when it comes to sales, particularly in your shop? Maybe if you know more numbers nationwide. But would you say that, because I've been noticing even regular books, like they went to $3.99, whatever, like $4.99, sometimes $5.99 even now, right?
Yep.
And it's are we going to get to the point that these regular books are going to get phased out? I mean, I hope not personally, but is it going to be something where we're going to get books and they're going to be like these 80-page or 100-page type where, they're $7.99 but not $3.99, so you're saving money technically. You're reading a little bit more in one sitting, but maybe you can give us some more information on what you know or what you see.
I don't read up on national sales at all because it doesn't really apply to my business. I do. I mean, you see me do. I do tons of counts in the shop. I track everything, of course, because I try not to be too emotional when I make purchases because that tends to get you in trouble one way or the other. But sales have been high during the pandemic because people were speculating on books big time, and so we saw all kinds of just like nonsense in the marketplace, which we had in 2008 when the economy got weird, and then we had it back in the 90s, of course, when the image wave happened. And these speculator eras are tough, right? You got a lot of people who are participating who they're not reading the books, they're not buying them to read, they're just buying them to flip real quick, and so that puts a lot of static on the line when it comes down to these numbers. I mean, like when Spider-Man launched with the number 1, there were at least 15 covers, and I felt like, maybe I'm reading it too much, but I thought Marvel wasn't very comfortable or didn't feel very confident in that launch because they released 15 covers thinking that most guys would buy 5 covers, which is a way to inflate numbers on that book. Because if you just put 2 covers out, the numbers would be pretty low. It didn't sell great because they're not doing anything new with Spider-Man. It's kind of got a locked-in audience. It's not growing the audience on that book. But if you can get anybody to buy the same book 5 times because different covers, you've won on a level. That's ridiculous, And so there's tons of that going on, although it's slowed down because of paper shortages. Image had no reprint policy at all until 8 Billion Genies blew up, and that was cool. That book's fantastic as well. But it's tough with the reprints, and you got guys buying books, like I said, who aren't going to read them. They're just buying them to flip them, and then when that audience, when the guys are selling to have kind of exhausted, they all kind of sell amongst themselves. When they fill that market, it just gets saturated, and then we get to a period of where they quit, and so there's a huge suction out of these people from the marketplace, and it reset the market big time, because right now prices are all over the place for new and old books. It's just really speculative, and it's dumb. I hate these markets. You get a lot of people who participate and juice up books, and it's just not natural for books to jump that high real quick. But it's like the same thing happened with sneakers and everything else this year too, right? Everything broke this year
Trading
because
cards.
guys got greedy. Yeah, I mean, too much greed in the marketplace for everything,
Trading
right?
cards for sure. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean, you saw the dude selling shoes, right? Like that one guy, his mother was a executive at Nike, and she got popped, she got fired.
That's
He
right.
was killing that market. It's like, dude, these are the guys that come in and they get as much as they can because it's a little greedy, and then they don't care if there's any like future sales because they're just trying to get it all now, and that doesn't work for lots of businesses, right? You want slow organic sales and growth for most of these businesses, or to keep it steady, right? You're trying to do that, and then like for books with the cover price being raised, there's definitely lots of guys waiting for trades or waiting for collections now when the cover price gets high like this. Although I personally like anthology books, like those 80 pagers, 100-page giants for $8 to $10. I love that kind of book. I think you get great variety. You get to touch on a lot of stuff you normally wouldn't see, perhaps, but it's tough marketing it to some folks, I think, if they're not really used to buying like a $10 comic book. Because to be frank, $10 comic book sounds ridiculous. It just sounds stupid, man.
Right. I mean, I will touch on those real quick. Like all the DC Black Label ones, whether they're the prestige ones, whether they're prestige or whether they're regular print. I don't think that I've read a bad one. Most of them are like just the 3-issue ones. I think this one, Rogues, is coming out this week. I think it's the 4th and final issue.
Yep.
That one is absolutely amazing because I've said this before. I said all of these like Batman Damned and Harleen, and then the one that Mark had, right, the Criminal Sanity. I don't know what the hell happened to the Swamp Thing one, the Green Hell.
Still, it's just running late.
Okay. The Constant
Wonder Woman Historia is also running very late.
Right. The Constantine one, then you had the history of the DC universe, all those ones, the amount of writing, the story itself, it's way worth the $7.99. Way worth.
Oh, totally agree.
And if you're like us and you're familiar with just normal continuity and the normal canon of the Batman universe or the Flash or whatever, it's so cool to see something like Rogues where it's like, what would happen like 30 or 40 years later? All these guys are old and they want to do one last heist to where you really don't see Barry Allen, but you just see everyone that you're so used to seeing that Flash kicking their ass. That's the story. That's what I love about the Black Label and these off canon stories. I love it. And they're short too. You don't have to invest so much time and money into it. It's just boom, 3-4 months and you're done.
No, Black Label's good. I mean, Black Label is a spiritual successor to Vertigo, and I was a huge fan of the Vertigo brand when that was going on. I'm still always a little grumpy they sunsetted it, but like I joke around the shop, when the 25th anniversary comes back for them it'll come back in 25 years and it'll be awesome, right? But Black Label's dope. But Black Label books they're a little more mature. They're kind of like HBO versions of comic books, I feel.
Very true. Yeah, I would not give one of those books to my daughter to read.
No.
Definitely not.
You mentioned the Image craze in the 90s. Is that kind of something would you compare it, or maybe it was bigger, but would it be like something like that Bad Idea that was coming out that everyone was trying to get on a couple months back?
Sure, Bad Idea is doing the same. They're playing to the cheap seats. They're playing to speculators. That's kind of their thing. They troll those guys pretty hard. I mean, there's always speculation in collectibles.
Is that what Image was doing in the 90s? Speculating?
They were playing to it. I mean, like, when guys would come in and buy like a case of Spawn #1, or we had guys buy like a case of Wildcats and everybody thinks they're going to get rich off that shit. And it's like all these other things, like crypto or any of these other things you hear about. Like when every dude comes in and has like a crypto tip for me, it's over. It's totally, it's busted at that point, right? It's a Ponzi scheme, and they got the fools coming in to prop up the guys who need to get out. That's that same curve every time, and we had that happen in comic books this year too. And like I said, it sucks when you get guys who don't really know what they're doing. They get caught up in the FOMO of it or whatever. And maybe they put a ton of money into books that they're never going to read. And I hate to see that, right? Because they won't pick up comic books. And I'm a little biased. I love comics, but they'll end up like hating comic books after that. And it's like, dude, that's not the point. We don't want guys hating comic books. We don't need any help on guys hating comic books.
I know. It's like betting on like a game. Oh, well, I didn't make money on them and they didn't make money for me. Because know me, like one team I could hate them this week and love them next week, as long as the line lines up.
Sure.
Word. I mean, that's why I hate Beanie Babies still, right? I was going to cash out on Beanie Babies, man.
Oh, dude. And they're like, pennies. Aren't they pennies now?
God, I think when you buy one, you get 8 free or some shit now. If anybody,
they pay you.
Right?
They pay you to get.
There's that documentary on them.
Oh yeah.
I remember. I
Active
to this day,
sadness.
I had that craze of the Princess Diana one, that violet purple bear. Oh, dude, they were selling for thousands of dollars, and then someone I saw selling them for like $5-10 on eBay right now.
Damn.
Sucks.
That is crazy.
Well, no, you got to just cash out the right time, right? And that's what all those things do. I mean,
Right, exactly.
That's like a lot of these stocks. I don't know if you've noticed, but or if you saw like PayPal stock getting beaten up. Like
No,
I think honestly, I think PayPal has kind of come and gone. There's so much competition now. Apple Pay themselves can probably take them out. And once eBay went to direct cash, or direct doing their payment processing on their own, because when I first even signed up for eBay, I was like, wait, I can't have eBay without having a PayPal. Okay, I guess I got to sign up
eBay
for
owned
PayPal.
Oh, eBay owned
okay.
PayPal.
Oh, so now it's like I feel like there's not that much of a market for PayPal, and their stock price has been getting hit. I don't think it's ever going to get back to what it was, just like Zoom video conferencing during the pandemic, how crazy that thing got. Like some of these stocks, it's just like the .com bubble. Like if your name had .com behind it in like 98, 99, 2000, it just ran. And like some of those companies were never even heard from again.
You
and
leave
that's
Pets.com alone.
Pets.com.
I will go back to one more book that I thoroughly enjoyed last week that I read, and it's just from the childhood. Did you read The Stuff of Nightmares, the R.L. Stein one?
Yes.
Yeah, it was cool.
Super fun.
Yeah, it was super.
Yes,
it was a super fun book
for big kids.
Exactly, and it was like a little ode to like Tales from the Crypt, with the Crypt Keeper in the beginning and the end, kind of narrating it and setting up the story. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm glad I picked that one up.
Yeah, same week Creepshow came out. Also, was a great first issue.
Right, nice. That's
both are sold out. Both are sold out from the publisher. They're both solid. So
cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Anything from the last month or so from previews that you, because I sent my list today, some books to look forward to. What did I send you? I think because I usually just, the Catwoman, the One Bad Day, Batman One Bad Day. Catwoman was in last month's previews. From our childhood again, Dynamite's releasing a brand new Gargoyles series.
Right.
I was like, oh hell yeah, dude! Like, I'll at least get that first issue just to, exactly. Right. And then I will piggyback off what Mark has been doing since we've been doing this podcast every month up until 2-3 months ago. I jumped on the new Miles Morales Spider-Man series that's going to come out next month or in 2 months or whatever. So
who's the writer?
I don't remember, but I just saw Miles Morales #1. It wasn't the same writer who was writing the one you were reading. Yeah, no, it's someone else. The name escapes me. So
yeah, I forget. I've got to finish up my orders on Thursday for the preview, so I'll be knee deep in it this week.
I will say one bit of news in the entertainment business of comic books. I did see that they're working on a Man of Steel 2. Did you see that?
Oh.
Yeah, they're looking. No. Yeah, they're looking for writers. So obviously, it's not going to be, it's probably not going to be Zack Snyder, but they're working on a sequel to that movie.
And to add to that, to what you said, they actually announced that they've already written the script for a second Flash movie, despite what's going on with Mr. Ezra.
Right, because he's back in filming, right? Isn't he back in the role?
I think so.
Yeah, I
think there's been lots of pickups. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably was like, oh shit, I'm gonna miss out on millions of dollars. I should probably get my act together.
That guy needs help. That's a cry for help, man.
Bad.
Because I thoroughly enjoyed him.
He could have it all.
Right. He's in the Harry Potter, he's in that.
No, they killed him in the last movie. He's dead.
Right.
Dumbledore's dead.
He was, right. but
spoiler.
Yeah. No, not a spoiler for me. I watched
If you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry.
Right.
He hasn't even seen any of the three.
They're all good. Those are also like Harry Potter for big kids. I love those films, man.
Yeah, it's one of the ones the canon, the world of Harry Potter. So it's like, oh shit, there's a couple Easter eggs there, and it's like
no, it's cool,
man.
It's
the world of Harry Potter, but 80 years before Harry Potter. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anything else you're watching? You watching the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power? You watching Game of Thrones?
I haven't started either one of those because we're still trying to. I got one episode of She-Hulk to finish up. One episode.
I'm behind on that. I haven't started that yet.
What the fuck? Episodes. God, we're so close to finishing a couple things. It's Halloween time, and so we're watching lots of scary movies in between.
Nice. Your favorite?
Exactly. So, like with my daughter, we did Jason Goes to Hell and Halloween 2, and
Damn.
we watched Shaun of the Dead last night with her, which is hilarious.
Shaun of the Dead, nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I watched
So we're just trying
I watched Beetlejuice with my daughter tonight. It was her first time watching
Fantastic.
Beetlejuice, so I have to start with one of the classics. She's been watching
Yes.
Nightmare Before Christmas at least once a day for the last month and a half.
Oh,
So I was like, hey,
absolutely.
hey,
Yeah.
Maddie, let's go ahead and mix it up. Let's watch Beetlejuice.
What's this? What's this?
What-
It's
what-
Beetlejuice.
Yep.
They don't make the horror movies like they used to before, huh?
They don't make anything like they used to, man.
That is true.
That's what happens
What
when
was
we get
the
old.
one
Nothing is made like what they used to, right?
No.
But what movie came out a couple months ago? Phone Box or Phone Booth or something?
Black-
That's supposed to
The
be
Black Phone.
Black Phone.
Black Phone or
Black
something.
Phone. That was cool.
I heard that was
That's
pretty
Joe Hill.
scary.
It was
Yeah,
good.
Joe Hill. I haven't seen the film. I like the short story a lot. I read the story.
It wasn't really scary. It was pretty good.
Ghost story.
I actually went to theaters, and Mike's gonna love this. I actually watched Smile in theaters the other
I
day.
saw your post the other day. I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, but the movie was like whatever. I mean, I watched it, no problem at all. And we actually got on the Fire Stick, and I think it's on Peacock also. We watched the new Halloween Ends.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
right on.
Now
Yeah.
that is the end of it, right? Is it the end? Oh, well, okay.
Should be.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I have to watch the previous 3 or 4 to get
Or
it.
like
Halloween Begins Again.
Right. Exactly.
No, it's 3 films for the new cycle.
the new cycle's 3. The old one's like what 6 or 7 or something like
Is
that.
it-
Yeah.
This is opposite, or not opposite, but this is off from the Rob Zombie one, right?
I don't like the Rob Zombie ones. This goes off of the end of Halloween 2, off the OG shit.
Okay.
It's like Terminator Dark Fate, which was like, okay, everything after Terminator 2 doesn't count. Where
Right.
here
It
it
is
picks up
crazy
again.
Exactly.
to put in perspective how long it's been. They said it's like the 43rd anniversary of the
Yeah, yeah.
original Halloween movie. Freaking
Yeah.
43
Holy crap.
years. Crazy.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
My wife actually just brought up an anniversary.
Richard Petty.
Richard Petty. My wife actually brought up an anniversary 25 years ago. I think this week or last week. Spice Up the World or Spice Up Your Life from the Spice Girls came out. So for all the Spice Girls
Proper.
fans, yeah, exactly. All the Spice Girls fans out there, that goes to you.
I still like Scary Spice, man. She's great.
Yeah. And it's so funny. I don't know. I can't believe I'm diving deep into this, but my wife said that Posh Spice was she sang the least amount because she wasn't really a good singer. You know, I don't know if it was for looks or whatever,
At that point,
but she.
you were all looks, I think.
My wife said, and this is contrary to my belief. I thought it was like Ginger Spice and maybe like Baby Spice sang the most. She goes, no, like who actually sang the most was Scary and Sporty Spice were
Yeah.
the two that actually sang the most in the songs. I was like, oh shit, well, leave it to me not to know that 25 years later. So I was like, oh cool, little tidbit. So,
I think it's okay.
right,
It's okay
I
to
know,
not know.
I know. I was happy, because this is a lot of random, stupid, useless shit that's up here in my brain, and that right there, I could have dealt without. So. That's good. So, all right, sir. So let's jump from the comic book section to the sports section. So,
Boo.
what negative thing do you want to talk about first? I mean, I don't know if you're. I
just
don't know if
talk
you're a
about it,
USC
man.
fan, but USC loses also to Utah. The Raiders lose. Rams actually won, and of course, I didn't put them in the contest this week.
They'd better win against Carolina,
So
though.
of course they covered this week. I didn't pick them in the contest.
Yeah.
I picked them 2 other times against Atlanta, and I think the Cardinals. And of course they don't cover either of those games.
Right.
So, Mark, did you have something before we got into anything? I saw you.
Oh, actually, yes, I had 2 things. First, you can't forget about the double L this weekend. Logano in Liverpool. Thank you very much. We'll get into that in a little bit.
I knew you were going to get into it. That's why I don't want to steal your thunder.
Double L, baby, double L. No, but what was I gonna say? Dang, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead. I'll come back to it.
It just Pennzoil and Reds. That's all you had on your mind, I guess, right?
Dude, that's all I had on my mind. Oh no, I remember now. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
So it was about what we were talking about the game. I was wondering what was going to happen with that Yankee game in my 2-team parlay.
Oh,
So
yeah,
basically,
that's right.
he just gave me the win. They basically just broke it in half, canceled out the New York bet. I just checked my sports book right now, and they basically just gave me the win for the Broncos country. Let's ride. +4, baby.
Let's run.
Oh, that's right.
He gives the reasoning behind it. This is why I'm sorry, and we can probably get into this, but this is a perfect prelude into what we're going to talk about, I'm sure, coming up here. But this is one of the reasons why I like the Broncos tonight, the same reason why I like San Diego. I didn't hear one person say that they liked the Padres. Everyone I went to, I was having like a beer at Buffalo Wild Wings, and everybody there, oh, no, man, you're crazy. You're crazy. There's no way. 14 out of 19. They whooped them. They beat them. When I start hearing that type of stuff, and just like I like these beat down junkyard dogs. Not that Russell Wilson was a world beater today, but all you've been hearing lately is, oh my God, Russell Wilson, he's done. He sucks. He this, he that. Man, could the dude be getting down beaten anymore? And I was like, they still got a good defense. I mean, the spread is like 4 points. You know what? I'll take Broncos. I mean, was it an easy, easy cover and whatnot? But I mean, it covered. It got there by 1 point. But what I'm saying is, like, I look at games a lot different than just like, oh, well, Russell Wilson sucks and he's in the Chargers. And it's like, there's so much more that I've learned from gambling in all these damn years that it's like, it really changes my perspective. Like me and my buddy, we used to go around at work and ask people, who do you like this weekend? Who do you like this weekend? It'd be like a crappy team playing like the Patriots or whatever. And, the crappy team would be like plus 11. Oh, the Patriots are going to burn them. Da, 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 da. When we would hear like everybody saying that the other team had no chance, we would just take the other team like plus 11 and the Patriots would win by like 9 or 10. I don't care who wins. I'm playing the number or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but I know it's just like I had.
But Russell Wilson does suck. I just got to back check to everyone. That Russell Wilson sucks until he starts kicking field goals, dude. That's because they're only kicking field goals, and that
I only watched like the end of that game, like the last half of the fourth quarter. I don't even know how it went. I don't know if the defense was good. I don't know if both quarterbacks sucked.
I don't think anything was good. It was tied through most of the overtime, dude. That game sucked.
Yeah,
it was a classic suck game.
4 or 5 PIs called against them. Yeah, it was an ugly game.
Their defense did enough to win me my fantasy week, so thank you to Denver's defense.
These calls are so weird with these quarterbacks right now. Like, can you touch them? Can you not? Are we gonna put flags on them or we're not? It's like, dude,
we should rough every single one of them.
Every play.
Smash them.
Seriously.
Man. So let's get into some NFL, Alex. But before the actual games, what's your take on last Monday's game against the Chiefs and the Raiders? Talking everything. Talking the roughing the passer call. Talking the specific hold on the field goal that Sean said that they hadn't called since like 2018, and it was on the Raiders. Same referee, and of course the Devontae Adams push, or whatever that was after the game.
Yeah. No, he definitely pushed that dude, right? And the guy was kind of in his way. I kind of get it, but if I had just lost and tripped over my own teammate, I would probably push whoever got in my face as well.
Yeah.
Not that I'm condoning that. I mean, he's obviously he's got to not put his hands on anybody. The Raiders should have won that goddamn game, though. God damn it. I get the going for 2, but with all the time left in the game, it was no kick the field goal and play some D, dude. Come on, man.
It's too much analytical stuff, man. They had a game. I don't know what it was yesterday. I think it was the Dolphins versus Minnesota. They kick a field goal. It's a 7-point game, and they went for the 2-point because analytically,
right.
I lose my mind with this analytics at this point. It is freaking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Data analytics, baby.
Oh, stop it.
Well, it's risky, right? It's risky.
It's dumb.
It's risky, and I get the risk thing, right? Because these guys think they all think they can assert their will and win at that point, right? But I mean, defenses are good, man.
But I mean, the Steelers were doing it 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? Like they were doing it, kind of first.
Sure.
But they had Big Ben, a younger Big Ben. They had Le'Veon Bell. They had Antonio Brown. Like, of course, you have those kind of weapons.
Tomlin said they always went for 2, right? It's like basically like in-game practice, so it wasn't like weird. And I actually totally thought that was cool, right? I mean, sure, you're going to get 6, go for 2. If you're the Steelers,
that can do that.
Yeah. No, if you got a guy that can survive like getting hit by a car on a motorbike, that guy's worth going for 2 every time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just put that out
some
there.
Derrick Henry shit,
Yeah.
Right. So.
Right.
I mean, so the Raiders, they just had their bye. I don't even know who they're playing next.
I don't know either.
Houston Texans. That's right. They're playing Houston Texans. So hopefully they right. So I mean, that's a win, right? And
it better be.
Someone tweeted something funny. They said that, oh hey, if Hunter Renfrow just wasn't a football player, if he was just disappeared, the Raiders could have had 2 other wins because he's the one who got into Devontae Adams and he's the one who fumbled against Arizona. So yeah. Pretty funny there. But and then of course the 49ers are just injury riddled again. It just seems year in and year out they have bar none the best defense in the league. First in almost damn near every category. They're like they're 1A and 1B right now with Dallas, and they just can't seem to just stay healthy.
I blame the trainers.
10 players on IR. 10 players on IR. It's crazy. I'm a diehard. You guys know that. I actually have no explanation for it. I don't know.
No,
they're
cursed. I'm a Rams guy. Obviously, I kind of hate them, right? But you don't want to see a team take all those injuries, dude. That's rough, dude. The Rams our whole offensive line is out basically at this point too. So
yesterday was a great example too. I told my buddies, and I know Alex could probably speak to it too. Is like, look at the Rams going against some teams that like you would think probably beatable, but it's any given Sunday. This isn't college. Absolutely. Alabama backups aren't playing versus UConn. You're still playing the Falcons, a very viable NFL best 32 teams.
Right.
Well, they put points up. They put points up early in the Niners, and that's tough for Jimmy G to catch up with. That's tough for lots of guys to catch up with, for sure. Right.
Is what's his name's injury serious? Ayuk?
Oh, which one? No, Ayuk. He's back on the field. But I think to add to the list, Ekubon has like a strained Achilles. Hufanga got a concussion.
The corner, right?
Yeah,
the corner.
Charvarius. He has a groin injury, but he will be okay. So I mean, Bosa will likely return versus the Chiefs as well as Trent will. But it's just like, you lose Emmanuel Mosley, who's having a career year. Yes, it's only 5 games in, but you've seen the boys playing good. Jimmy Ward, second play of the season for him, breaks his freaking hand. And it's just, what's next? What's next week? What's next week? We didn't have our whole defensive line versus Atlanta. I think it was 10 defensive starters at one point run on the field.
Jesus.
You reach a point where it's too much. I mean,
right.
It's rough.
Right. It's been a rough season so far. It's been for, I think the Niners are now at 500, I believe.
Yeah, we're at 500.
Yeah, so they play the Chiefs. Is that a primetime game?
It's not.
Oh.
It's the 1 o'clock game. Yes, it's not a primetime game.
Man, do not tell me that Denver's primetime again, because they've been primetime,
Denver is in England, I want to say, versus Jacksonville.
That counts
gross.
Yeah, that counts as primetime. No kidding.
And by the way, may I mention to you guys, that's the fishiest line of the week. Kansas City -3 to an injury-riddled San Francisco 49ers. Yes, they're back at home. Yes, Kansas City has played couple tough games against the Bills and the Raiders, and they're at home now. They're going on the road, but man, I would have thought that line would have been a little bit bigger, man. But
no, the Niner defense, man, even with backups, is solid.
At home, the Niner defense picks up,
and you know what?
And the Chiefs defense can give up points. So if they have the running game still, and if Jimmy G can just have Kittle, Ayuk, Debo open,
and I also
quick slants.
I also heard a stat that when a team is a home dog and then become a road favorite, that I think it's like 60-something% that the home dog hits. So
60%, you're winning.
Cash and tickets, baby. That's what it's all about. So NFL. So Alex, what do you see? Because I'm sure we'll talk to you sometime in December, January when playoffs come.
Yeah.
Will the Rams be in the playoffs when we talk to you next?
God, I want them to, but I also kind of hate my coach right now. So
right.
It's a pain in the ass, man.
Oh my God, just run the goddamn ball, man. Just play some real football, for Christ's sakes.
He's so bad. He's too smart for his own good.
Let's make this fun. Let me run down some odds for you guys, and you guys can go on that. Okay. I think I see some here. I see some here that's a little bit kind of wild. But Buffalo Bills, obviously your favorite at about 3-1. The Eagles, man, sure. Props to them.
Eagles should be up there. Yeah.
6-1. They opened up at what, like 30-1? I think I told you guys the other
30
night.
Or 40.
Yeah. Kansas City still slotted in there in your third position at about 7-8-1, depending what books you're shopping at. Tampa Bay still, with all the head case that we're getting with Tom Brady here and all this mess from Tampa Bay, still looking at about a 11, 10, 12-1, 13-1.
Minnesota Giselle's got him all effed up, man. He's
rattled.
Yeah. Yes.
Minnesota 15, 16-1. The Ravens, dude, they can't get it together.
Jesus,
I wouldn't be putting my money on them. But 18.
You're in all these teams. We're the Giants.
I was just going to say that. We're the Giants and the Cowboys.
Giants aren't even close. I'll give you. I mean, I'm running them down in order. Here we go. San Francisco Niners are. The Niners are even up there at about 18-1 with the Ravens. The Chargers 20-1. Green Bay as well, still 20-1. Dallas 20-1. The Rams as well, 25, 22-1. Bengals, Miami. Dude, you're not getting to the Giants until about 50-1. A team that's 5-1.
At the end of the day, that's where they are.
People Daniel Jones is not winning a Super Bowl.
They're not gonna when it comes down to like that shit game when it really matters. Now week 6 versus Baltimore. I'm talking week 14, 15. It's still Daniel Jones. I'm sorry.
I mean, and also, I will say, even though they have that many injuries, as much as it freaking pains me to say it, 18-1 for the Niners is actually a decent value right now. When you say
we're still a top 5 team in football, in my opinion, if we're healthy.
I'd say anything upwards of 20-1 on Dallas, dude. I mean, they played.
Dallas.
They came.
It's Dallas, bro.
Yeah, but they came back and played decent in that second half. If it wasn't for the 3 picks that Rush had, I think that Dallas covers that game last night, and all those Philly backers are weeping right now.
Dude,
to tell you the truth.
Can you imagine that? Roger Staubach, Troy Aikman, and Cooper Rush, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys. You know, right? Oh man, no way.
I mean, he's been manageable, man.
Yeah.
Look at
he's like the second best defense in the league.
Look at Mariota in freaking Atlanta. He's been manageable too.
Yeah.
Perfect Band-Aid for that team after Matt Ryan. He's a perfect Band-Aid. Right.
Yeah. Miami's O-line is a mess. None of their quarterbacks. They're like on their 4th stringer at some point. Bridgewater's been out with a head injury. Their Skylar Thompson from Kansas State, my guy.
Back this week. Don't worry. Tua is back this week for a week or 2.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, God. Until he gets slammed again.
Joe Burrow, the Super Bowl appearance from the AFC. The team hasn't been world beaters, although my one cover in the contest, thank you to Joey B. Getting, I don't know,
40 points for fantasy too. That a baby.
Yeah.
So
New England with this Zappy kid, man.
Right?
I mean, is he going to be the starter over Mac Jones at this point?
Probably not.
He's slinging it.
Probably not. You can't give a first rounder. You can't do that.
I mean,
Mac Jones is going to wind up with the Raiders. That's
the Jets.
Josh's dude.
Oh, good. That's a good take right there, Alex. I like that.
It's not a good. I don't like that, but it's a good take.
No, I'm not saying I like it, but I mean I know he was close with McDaniel.
Right.
Daniels.
The New York Jets with Salah coming from the San Francisco 49ers and getting that defense pretty good. Hey, I'm not saying they're winning a Super Bowl, but they're fun to see them build with Zach Wilson, right?
New York. The New York fans' heads are about this big right now. This 6 games into the season for sure. Oh man,
their hearts are pounding right now, waiting for tomorrow afternoon against those Guardians. Though,
God, I know, right? Moving from NFL, Alex, just a little tidbit on college football. How far down the river is that goalpost in Tennessee in Knoxville? I don't know if you saw, Alex, but after Tennessee. Yeah,
I did see that.
They tore down the goalpost, ran it up the stands and outside into the streets. That was pretty cool, and I guess it ended up in a river.
Yep.
I think we all got to agree, and I know me and Mark texted it, like, there's just nothing like a college atmosphere.
I love college football
because it could be like the
I love
school,
college football.
But there's only one thing to do on Saturday. You could be 0-10, freaking homecoming, Joe Blow University versus Alabama, and we're going to be rocking at Joe Blow University that day.
And that's, when can you ever see that in an NFL game? You got
bigger stadiums. There's more people. They're way bigger stadiums.
Right. But it's just different because even if that happened at an NFL stadium, they'd be fighting at the midfield, right? But in college, for some reason, somehow the kids just rush the field. Now there's, I think the SEC, from what I've been hearing, they get fined like $50,000 every time there's a field rush. A couple
boosters would pay that easily.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
A couple boosters were running on the field and just writing checks. Yep, okay, here's my 10K towards it. Here we go.
I got my oil drill down there on the golf.
Right, but I will say that's a pretty awesome feeling. Like I was at a Tilted Kilt having lunch with my wife years ago when that Auburn Alabama game when they kicked off
Auburn's gonna win the
Oh no,
football game.
was it?
Auburn's
Oh
gonna
man,
win the
was it a
football
missed field
game.
goal or was it a kickoff? And he caught it and ran it
And I
back.
missed the
Yeah,
field goal.
That was a kick
yeah,
six.
dude, that was awesome.
Kick six.
So that was pretty cool.
Oh, college football is the best, bro.
So, Alex, another disappointing, sour subject that we need to get into is, the team on your hat right now, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
another great season, another great regular season, but they won one in 2020, but I know it's not enough for Dodgers fans because they pay enough money, they expect to win, just like the Yankees expect to win, just like the Red Sox fans. Now the Padres fans.
I think the Giants had pretty big
Right.
payrolls. There's a corollary when you spend a lot of money.
The Giants had top 6 payroll, I believe, after 2010. So 12 and 14, they were definitely up there, right? So
they're going
they were
for
like in the top
Judge
3
too.
for a couple of years, man.
You know, and
I hope they do get Judge. He's not going to leave the Yankees.
They want
though.
Judge.
Of course, everyone wants that guy.
You know what happens is what needs to happen is they need to get a couple of those guys out there, and they need to get the kid from across town. They need to get Trout for the last couple of years of his career because he is just him and Ohtani. They just went there to die.
Ohtani should go to the Dodgers
Right.
next year. Though.
Well,
I think the Dodgers are going to make a big run
either
in
one
the
of them.
offseason.
They don't promote them worth a
wouldn't
lick. You could put them on a radio, on a TV, or whatever, and most people, even in Southern California, couldn't pick him out of a lineup.
Is it that night and day with the fandom down there, man? Jeez, I feel
I went
like
to an Angels game. It was terrible. Other than the stadium being half decent, bro, the fans I can't even tell they were fans, bro.
That ballpark is cool though. It's a great ballpark, and their batter eye is awesome.
I mean, I can't say much. I'm an A's fan. The Angels get way more fans than the A's, but dude, it's just I would say that the Angels, and we've discussed it on this podcast before, they're like the most like mediocre choker, disappointing team, dude. And Trout, he's the most humble. I mean, dude, the dude don't care. Like, you don't hear nothing about him. He doesn't say nothing. He doesn't get no deals in media, really, or whatever, sponsors and endorsements. But, dude, what the hell is going on with that team? From Sosha to who do they have? They had the other dude recently also. What's his name?
That team is cursed.
Didn't Madden go over there?
Yeah,
Yes,
Madden. Thank
Yeah.
you.
They got rid of
Exactly.
all their. They said they hit like a year. I can't think what year it was, where they literally just got rid of like all their prospects, all that pitching, and it's not that
they're
team that
cursed.
beat the Giants with David Eckstein and all that pitching back then. After that, they just shit the bed. And
Yeah, you need the West Coast Marlins or the West Coast Devil Rays, man. That's what the Mariners and like the Angels are doing.
Were you excited to see the Mariners in there, Alex?
Nah, not really. I like
drought.
I like when teams have that kind of drought and they're like, oh man, haven't seen the postseason in 21 years. I'm like, good, keep that shit going. Like when the Cubbies have been for like 86 years, like good, let's get to 95. Let's do that shit, right?
Well, yeah, it's now the
I
Indians.
like the Boston curse too, but that ended a while ago, obviously. But I like those.
You got the Indians / Guardians going right now strong. You got the Toronto Maple Leafs going strong.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's got to have a dog somewhere, man.
Hey, the Cleveland Guardians have never lost the post-series.
Oh, God.
A post-series.
here it comes.
You're dumb. Just like the Denver Broncos.
No participation.
Just like the Denver Broncos have never beaten the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's
The
right.
Houston
Houston
Astros have made it to their
Screw
fifth
them.
straight ALCS. Fifth
Yep.
straight.
Good.
Fifth straight. How?
Trash
Didn't they
cans.
get rid of
They
Springer?
cheat, man. They
They
cheat a lot.
cheat.
Remember that shit? They cheat
Yes,
often.
I
and
do.
They cheat often.
But supposedly they're not cheating, and didn't they get rid of that dude Springer and Correa and some pitchers? And how are they still?
Hey, Cray opted out free agency too because
Yeah,
Trey
I
Turner's
heard he
a
wants to
free agent.
re-sign though for a
How are
different
they still-
contract.
These dudes were the laughing stock of the league for years.
That's the crazy thing with
That's why they
me,
switched. That's why they switched leagues, man.
Mm-hmm. They're in the
Wasn't
NL Central.
Jose Altuve is like undrafted? Didn't he just like walk on to practice one day or something? Like,
Yeah, but he
me
knew
out.
the count. He knew the pitches that were coming. He knew all the sequence of pitches that was coming. Right, it was a great walk
See,
on.
the best part would have been if they just freaking went to shit after that cheating, but the fact they're still they're not good.
Well, they
They're
got good
bad.
talent. There's a lot. Their core is
great.
awesome. Their core is awesome. Those young guys are great. That's a big part of it for sure.
Los Angeles teams can only win on the COVID years, though. 2020 shortened years.
Everybody could win that year. The Giants had a great shot to win that year. A's had a great shot to win that year. fucking no games to play. No one else showed up, man.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Damn, you're right. The A's were all
Yeah.
the A's still had their guys that year. That's
I mean,
right.
if you can't do it in a short season, you're never gonna do it, right?
Yep.
Mike,
I mean, it's like if they had an 8-game football season, right?
Mike's like the A's are never gonna do it anyway. Whatever.
I just want to die. I just want one. I just want one. I got my
You
Warriors.
got one in '89, bro.
bro.
Okay, two and a half. My ass. I was 2.5 years old.
Think
You
about
were
it.
born.
Dude, if the NFL season was 8 games, the Jaguars and the Cleveland Browns would be up in that shit every year too.
Ooh, man, the Lions would be up there too. Who
Jets would be
knows?
up in there. Jets would be there. Giants would be there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Vikings would be there.
man. I mean, obviously we got the cap.
The Falcons.
There's a salary cap in football, so
Cardinals
how you
making a
spend
good
your
run
money is
at
how
it.
you spend your money. But baseball, you got to spend money. You have to spend money in baseball at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
I don't
Absolutely.
care what no one says. It is a proven fact. You're gonna have that one
Agreed.
special, team that's gonna make it a cute little story. You need to spend money. I'll take my odds with the team that spends
Right.
$500
I mean,
million.
you're right. Unless you're the Mets, if you spend all that money, you can't win if you're the Mets.
God,
That's
I know. Just totally choked.
fine. That's fine.
I mean, and you had the Rays came
Hey,
the
but the
closest, right?
Padres-
The Rays
the
came the
Padres-
closest. The Rays came the closest when
Dude,
they went to
Padres
the World
spent
Series.
Padres spent a ton of money this year too.
Yeah, yeah.
Padres
Haven't-
are loaded.
They are loaded. They have Snell. They got the other dude with the waxy looking ear, Musgrove.
Musgrove,
They
yeah.
got- yeah, they-
Musgrove.
I was going to
But
ask
dude-
you, Alex, since we're talking about like the money really quick, I guess, aspect of sports. What's your
Sure.
opinion of, and not to go to NBA, but just the aspect of the luxury tax and the Warriors saying, what? I can sign Wiggins and Poole, and
Yeah, yeah.
I got to pay over $400 million in luxury tax? Okay. Like, do you think the idea of that is kind of like giving the teams basically the choice? If you want to do it, it's up to you. Is that okay? Or do you think they should be kind of like a hard cap?
No, I actually think that large market teams should have large budgets.
Yeah.
Although the luxury tax is almost $500 million, which is wild, dude. I mean, that's
Wild.
pretty wild. But if you're a Warriors fan, like, dude, and it's funny. I mean, I'm a Laker guy. I do not hate the Warriors. I love watching the Warriors play, except for Draymond. I don't like that guy. But everybody else is awesome over there, right? But dude, if you can afford to put that shit together, I mean, no one will remember. In 25 years, it won't be the talk of like, oh, they spent so much. You'd be like, yeah, they got that other championship, and it's like Jenny and I we're gonna go see Depeche Mode. So when the last tour is coming up in the spring next year, and we threw down for seats, right? But I was telling Jenny, I was like, look, we can either budget really hard or just don't attach a price tag to the memory. So I was like, you don't want to attach a price tag to a championship, man.
So you think when baseball teams don't spend money, is it? I mean, these are obviously multi-billionaire, millionaire owners. Do you think it's just simple as they just don't want to spend the money, or do they actually ever have a legit reason behind it?
No, I think like the A's owner is a cheap bastard, man. I mean, there should be a league minimum. I think I don't think like you want to put a hard cap, right? Because if you can, guess guys are going to spend more, right? But you should definitely have a minimum. You gotta pay, and the A's suck, dude. When it comes to that, it's like the JV shit every fucking year. It's like JV every year.
Yeah. And
that sucks.
And they get lucky. They get lucky, especially since like the late 90s, early 2000s. They've been in the playoffs. They've probably been in the playoffs like 10 years, 12 years, like close to at least half of the years, right? All those years, right? Go years.
Those Moneyball years, they played small ball so well. It was awesome. And I love small ball. I mean, like, we're talking about this in the shop, right? I mean, like, everybody's hitting for home runs now because the shift. You can't avoid the shift, so you got to hit it out of the park. And I hate that, right? I love a good small ball team, getting guys on, working a pitcher, get them out of the stretch. Baseball. Yeah, but like
that's what pissed me off.
The shift's gone next year,
right? And that's what pissed me off about the Giants so bad, because not only is it the crosstown rivals, they win championships, but they won it the same way the A's did. They pitched well, they played defense well, and they had timely hitting, and that's what they needed. And the A's just didn't have like the Pablo or the Buster Posey. They didn't have like that one guy really to put him over the edge.
Buster was awesome. That guy did everything.
You guys had Verlander ahead of you.
To this day, I don't see how the big three of those teams didn't win. With Eric Chavez, with Miguel Tejada, and then Mulder Hudson Zito, Jason Isringhausen, I don't know how I don't know how those teams didn't win. At least one. Obviously, they had the Jeter and the Yankees, and Jeremy Giambi can't fucking slide, some of those games pains me. And Terrence Long looking at it, Derek Lowe.
What about how many chances?
Oh God.
What about when what's his name didn't throw over? Again, Kansas City.
Oh Christ. guy who the guy
Josh Donaldson.
no,
He's got a cat.
he went to the Cubs to win a World Series.
Yes,
or
he's
he was
bald. He had cancer.
the
Starts
pitcher.
with a Z. Or Z?
No,
his
the
name?
pitcher, tall,
Yeah.
kind of big.
Oh, is it the one that they said he was like?
He was
the
famous for Boston, Alex. Help us out here, man. He was famous for Boston. He had cancer, and he came back and like won a playoff game for Boston in like the early.
Oh, John Lester.
John Lester.
Yes, thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Lester didn't throw over, but remember,
Minus trade.
think about it. Yes,
Oh.
you're right. Dude, Sean, thanks for that memory. Yes, let's go, Sean.
Why are you smiling?
But
You say thanks to that memory. You say, thanks for you're smiling. What the hell?
No,
it's a bad
because-
memory.
No, well, yeah, when they freaking traded Cespedes, right, the day before, 3 days before, they freaking were going to give his giveaway shirt out.
And we
that's
still
how
went.
the A's
We still
do
went
it.
to the game and got
They're-
that shirt.
I still got
Committed
that
to
shirt.
excellence.
Oh God.
But dude, I mean, but what I'm saying is, we had bad faith with the A's. They had great teams, but they always got knocked out in that 1-game playoff, right? What did San Diego get a shot at this year? That 3-game playoff. So it changes the dynamics of. I think the A's those years might have been decent enough if they had a shot at 3 games.
But
But
the
that 1 game,
The A's have a couple years ago they beat the White Sox in that 3-game series. I think that was like the first year they went from 1 to 3. So the A's have already had success in that 3-game series. It's no excuse. They need to spend more
True.
money. They need to bring in a couple free agents either at the All-Star break or in the beginning or in the off season. They need to have those guys who are like, you know what, man, they spent a lot of money on just these 2 players or whatever, but it might put them over the top. At least show the effort to put
They need
together
to
a
commit
team.
to winning, man, and
Right.
invest in the team. Have a solid core, market better, get a new ballpark. They got to exercise the Canseco curse. I mean, everything Canseco said in Juice is correct, and that's why the A's are screwed. It's just the curse of Canseco, man.
Yeah.
say that again.
When Jose put his book out, Juice, and
Juice.
he named all the cheaters. I just reread that because I didn't realize there's a sequel. I got the sequel on my desk.
Vindicated.
He named it. Yeah,
That's a good
he
one,
was
too.
Correct on everybody. Correct on everybody, man. He wasn't lying about any of it, and that shit's hilarious, right? Mr. Rafael Palmeiro, I swear to you, my mother's grave. Why didn't you do it? Like,
Period.
Everybody did it, man.
Period.
Yeah.
That was good.
Worst.
That was a good one. Okay, Alex. So to round out, so real quick. So yes, Mark, congratulations to your Liverpool Reds. Manchester United tie in the EPL. So I think a little bit of a shakeup in the top 4, top 5. I think they're still in 5th. I think Liverpool is back up in the top 4. No, I think they're still sort of down in the standings. But plenty of
They're in 8th.
yeah, plenty of football to be had. And then finally, a little bit of NASCAR. So the NASCAR is in its playoffs right now. There are 3 more races left. The round of 8 just started in Las Vegas last week. Miami's this weekend, and then Martinsville, and then the championship race in Phoenix. So I don't know if you saw any kind of highlights from the Las Vegas race, Alex, but there was something that happened in stage 2. Where, I looked at the replay, like Larson didn't give Bubba much space, but then, it shouldn't have ended
Was
his
there a
race.
crash?
So
It was dirty.
So Larson kind of went up the track and gave Bubba Wallace very little space to go in from turn 3 and turn 4 and into the front straightaway. And so his back right tire kind of, it nicked the wall, right? But I don't think anything popped, like nothing happened. Bubba Wallace he's a real immature, just he flies from the seat of his pants. He's just really is a hothead and dangerous. You're going 165, 180 miles an hour at that point coming through the front straightaway, and he took a hard left into the back of Larson on purpose.
He chased them down.
Yeah,
Oh.
and he crashed him, inadvertently took out one of the playoff drivers in Christopher Bell and ended his day, so kind of putting him in a must-win situation the next 2 weeks.
A fellow Toyota driver.
His teammate, fellow Toyota driver,
Ah.
not a good look, and then to top it off, cherry on top, actually 2 cherries on top, after they get out of the car, Larson is, he's level-headed guy, he's kind of mellow. Bubba Wallace comes over to him as if he did that, pushed him a few times, was like ready to just throw him,
Oh.
and Larson's like, dude, what the hell? He's definitely just, walking away with it.
Boys have at him.
Right. And then even in the interview, he's just, defending himself. And what was the whole thing? Like the interviewer, the guy for NBC, asked about retaliation.
Marty Snyder.
Yeah, he was asking about retaliation, and he said, stop fishing. So he tried to blame it at once the back right tire and the back right, fender, all that stuff, it hit the wall. The car basically broke. And then once the car breaks, you lose all steering. So he basically said that when he turned left, right in like a direct left turn into Larson, that was out of his control. So,
is there like an unwritten rule? Because Mark would maybe know too, especially. So I seen it, and he went high on Bubba, and Bubba, he had no space. I'm not defending it. He was completely wrong for the way he reacted. But is there an unwritten rule? I mean, I think that's actually a good tactic. You don't
I love it. That's hard racing.
Yeah, you don't want to give him space.
But let me say three things. First of all,
just three.
Yeah, let me just say just three. First of all, I think NASCAR implemented a rule not that long ago that you can't like get out of your car and like walk away from your car.
Yeah,
like down the So I think unless like one of the AMR safety teams like person is with you, but Bubba just got out of his car, walked away. So I think something might happen there. First of all, a lot of these drivers, we already had 2 playoff drivers not be able to contend this year in the playoffs because of the concussions. This is a brand new car, the next gen car. They built a whole new car, Alex, just trying to get you up to date on it. They built a whole new car. Anyway, the way these cars are crashing, they're kind of these drivers have been getting more concussion-like symptoms, which is funny because at the same time, the NFL is dealing with it also, right? But these cars are getting hit in the rear quarter panel. These drivers are getting concussions. I don't know if more energy is transferring to the driver instead of the car crumbling in those impacts. But nonetheless, if you know that's going on and you're wrecking a driver down the front stretch at those type of speeds, I mean, that's just really dangerous.
Weapon.
And, I mean, it's scary as hell. Right? And so, I mean, Mike didn't get to see it live. I was over here I'm like, dude, this is freaking wild, Mike. Like,
I was catching up on some Z's. I had just finished the work week and I got up early for a pumpkin patch, and then came home and I was like, Raiders aren't playing. I know the race is on, but I'm just gonna go back to sleep. And then all of a sudden I get up to these text messages. I was like, oh hell no! So I literally went on my YouTube TV and rewatched the race. Like I knew what happened, but I had to see it live. And as soon as that happened, I turned it off. I was like, dude, screw this.
But Bubba and Kyle they came into the sport kind of around the same time. I thought they were somewhat friends. For him to do that and the way he kind of wanted to fight him. I mean, I respect Kyle Larson for being the bigger man there and just saying, what, quit pushing me. I
think at that point it didn't matter. Like Bubba Wallace is so immature and such a crybaby that it doesn't matter. He could be your best friend. I think he would have reacted the same way.
Yeah.
And the third thing I want to say, and the most important thing, is that, like Larson said in the interview, his race and my race weren't over. Yeah, Larson lost control and pushed him up against the wall. Maybe his tire would have gone flat, but both their cars weren't completely wrecked. And Larson even said it. He said his race wasn't over until he decided to retaliate and be stupid pretty much, right? So, I mean, and that's the whole reason why they switched him over. This is the team that Michael Jordan owns, Alex, to fill you in as well. It's a 23-11 team. Michael Jordan teamed up with a guy named Demi Hamlin that races for FedEx, the number 11 car for Joe Gibbs. Nonetheless, he teamed up with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan hired this African-American driver, which is Bubba Wallace, to drive the car. One of the other teammates made the playoffs. He was one of the drivers that got a concussion. He wasn't able to make the playoffs. So this other driver hopped into that guy's car to run for owner's points, because there's a driver's championship, but there's also an owner's championship where you can run where the car for the owner that gets the most points will also get a championship. It's not really celebrated, but it's just kind of something undercover that NASCAR does. To celebrate the owners, right? So they switched Bubba Wallace from his original 23 car. As you can tell, the car numbers are 23 and 45 for Michael Jordan, the two numbers he played in, right? So the 45 car was the car that originally made the playoffs with Kurt Busch. He got a concussion. He's out. Bubba Wallace hops in from his 23 into the 45 to try to get enough points to run for the owner's championship. And nonetheless, here he is crashing out another driver and crashing himself out, messing up with the whole team, just acting like a total, like Mike likes to say, asshat. whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No, all these baby men, dude, these immature ass baby men. I mean, that's, like, what's the over under on Tom Brady and tablets this year? I'm going like 35. He's gonna break all these 35 fucking tablets.
Yelling at his own
Is he always doing that?
Like,
oh yeah,
he's a baby.
Yeah.
He's
very
a
temper
tuck
tantrum,
rule
bro.
baby.
Yeah, he is. But that's one thing I've learned more and more, especially with Tom. Like, dude, the way he yells at his old line, like on live TV, I'm like, there's a thing of like, hey guys, we got to pick it up. But you see him fucking.
No, you should miss a block, dude. Blow his knee out. Sorry, bro.
Who's the backup in Tampa?
I couldn't hear the coverage call because my ears were still ringing from the dressing down I took on the sideline last year.
Right. Jesus. I mean, Bubba Wallace, he won the first stage of the race too. His car was running great.
That's why he was so mad. Yeah.
So
he had a good car and just pissed him off.
Yeah. So whatever. So hopefully some kind of suspension, fines, whatever, come his way, leading into the last 3 races of the season. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for I think what we have.
That's crazy.
Other than that, it was a great race.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. And Mark's driver, Joey Logano, punches his ticket automatically. The winners, if a playoff driver wins last week, this week in Miami, or in Martinsville, automatic bid into the Final Four in Phoenix. So Joey Logano punches his ticket in November for the championship. But Sir Alex, if you have nothing else, man, we are finished.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're tired, so yeah.
It's been a long day too, man.
You're not tired. You go to sleep you're gonna go do whatever you do. You go to sleep at 2 a.m, bro.
That's true. But I'm tired.
He's about to get his second win. He's like, all right, they already talked NASCAR. I survived it. Let me get my cup of tea and let's go.
I was telling my daughter at dinner, it's like I ran 4 miles. I lifted heavy today, and then I had tons of books to pull. And I'm like, I'm actually tired today. I'm actually tired.
That's a well.
But yeah, second win in like half an hour.
There you go. Well, Mark and Sean, this is the episode. 164 is done, so please take us away.
Super fun, man. To everyone listening, we do have Alex, Treasure Island Comics Finest, here with us, our sponsor. Always gracious and thankful for him and everything he does for the podcast. And to the fans, we are live today and we'll be live going forward. Mike was able to resolve the issue with that. And we look forward for, all the upcoming episodes, Climb the World of Sports and Comics. To Mike and myself, hope we have a fun, safe trip and travel to South North Carolina for our best friend's wedding. And again, Alex, thank you again, and can't wait till the next time.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. Have a good trip, guys.
Thank you, sir.
It should be fun. Weddings are fun.
Mark?
That's right. What a way to celebrate it, man. And the podcast on a NASCAR note while you guys are taking a flight to North Carolina tomorrow morning, right? Maybe you guys can check out the Hall of Fame out there in Charlotte. But no, nonetheless, man, these are one of, we get maybe 4 of these a year with our favorite, our only sponsor, actually, Alex. So we thank you very much always. And, man, it's so cool to be able to have you on here and talk sports and comics.
Always fun. Always fun to chat. Absolutely.
I just feel like it's tough, and we are a small niche in one way, that people that love comics and sports as much as we do. But man, it's like a perfect match made in heaven with you as our sponsor. So
Right.
We thank you every week, and man, it's just fun to have you come on here, man. Hopefully better luck to your Dodgers next year, and good luck to your Lakers this upcoming season, just not tomorrow night on Tuesday opening night.
Right.
But
Totally right.
as always, thank you, fans, for checking us out, and our good man Alex here. But comic bookie fans, we love you. Peace.
Yeah, I mean, and Alex, just one more thing. Thank you for being such a gracious sponsor to us, hooking it up with some of the freebies for the giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that was really fun. So for anyone listening who did win a book or the pop toy, those are actually going out in the mail tomorrow before we take off to South Carolina to round out the show. Over the last 10 episodes, some of the top downloading areas. Of course, San Francisco Bay Area and the Sacramento, the Valley out here are the top 2. Klamath Falls and Medford up in Oregon, number 3. Washington, D.C., so we're going across the nation, number 4. Nice. And rounding out the top 5 is Alex's own Los Angeles. So we're covering all of Alex's areas. So for Mark and Sean, so for Mark, Sean, and Alex from Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California, this is Mike. This has been the Comic Bookies podcast. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy each other. Peace out. See y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace, and always enjoy each other.